Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Invisible Man. We have got Julie Martin with us from that great Spanish band of Vanilla Bass. She'll be joining the conversation very, very shortly. So just to introduce me, I'm Mark David Stallard, top left, Ryan Jans. Now his middle name is also David, but he doesn't use it even though he should. And at the bottom there, we've got the wonderful and infamous Colorado Phil. Now his middle name's not David, but sometimes for shits and giggles we pretend that it is. Anyhow, so please go ahead and share the stream, like the video, tell your friends about us. It's a lot of fun, and please join in with the chats. If you've got any questions for Julie, please ask. And then of course we'll have Phil's free for all a little bit later as well. So who knows what's going to happen then. So
you never know.
So on to our guests. So based in Madrid, Spain, Vanilla Bass is back on the scene to perform their best songs yet. The band is comprised of four great talents: Julie, Quique, Luis, Jesus, and Manolo. They are set to captivate the world with an inventive fusion of styles. Music you can dance to, lyrics to inspire, and full of energy. And all this with a touch of vanilla. So live from Madrid, Spain, here is the lead singer of Vanilla Bass, Julie Martin. Thank you, Julie, for joining us.
Hello, Julie.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Well, I'm sure the audience is absolutely riveted, wants to really know everything there is to know about you, but maybe would you better start with just tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Julie, as you mentioned. Basically, I grew up in Australia, but I've been living in Spain for the past 25 years or so. So, I mean, I've lived here for a long time. And yeah, basically, I started with Vanilla Bass about 10 years ago. And we've been making music ever since. So, yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Nice.
I'm half English, half Australian, half Spanish. As my parents are Spanish, but I was born and raised in Australia.
Okay.
Oh.
So you're partial convict stock then?
I'm a partial convict.
Okay,
that's
right.
That's right.
Yes.
We do cop a lot from the British about that. But, you know, I always say that I'm first generation Australian. So I missed that one. Those convicts, you know, in my genes.
Indeed. Yes, we heard that. We heard that like that. Okay. But this show's nothing without a little innuendo. Anyhow, so
What?
No, don't start. No.
It's a little early, but all right.
Completely through me. You know, before I get back, because I still threw myself, we've actually got a couple of people joined us. So Pauline Santoro, hi, thanks for joining us again. Glenn Foster from our super fun guest last week. He says he just dropped in to see what condition your condition's in. I'm sure that means.
There you go.
And Jesus has joined us. He says,
I've got power this time.
"Hello, amigo." Oh, and then something in Spanish which I can't read. So thanks for joining us, Jesus. There we go. So we'll get back on track again. So you're the lead singer of the band. When did you discover you had a talent for vocals?
Well, I did do some singing when I was in high school and when I was in primary school, but it wasn't really something that I dedicated a lot of time to. It was only when I guess I was in my early 30s that I decided that I wanted to try something new, and that I did know that I could sing, but I had never really imagined myself singing. I thought, well, I'd really like to sing in a group, so I decided to I took singing lessons. I took professional singing lessons for a period of time.
Okay.
Once I felt confident that I could sing in different registers and I could basically sing what I wanted, that's when I started auditioning for different groups to be the singer in local groups that did a style of music that I liked, so a pop rock type of style, indie. And so I auditioned for a few groups, and I really liked it wasn't called Vanilla Bass back then. When I started with them, it was called Noche Tras Noche, which is literally night after night type of thing. So they have a different they were called something different, and they had different type of music, which I'll explain a little bit later on. I'm sure you'll ask me about it. So I basically auditioned. They were looking for a singer. I auditioned with the group, and they liked how I sang, and then I proposed making some changes, like they wanted to do some of them songs in English. So they thought that we could do some interesting work together, and that's how it started.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
Now, let's go straight into the band. I got a photograph. Maybe you could introduce the band to us. So give me a second here.
Sure.
There we go. So we've got a 5-piece. And do you want to just start maybe from left to right?
Okay. On the left, we have Jesus, who plays the bass guitar.
Woohoo! Go, Jesus.
Jesus, hello. And then to his right, with the red t-shirt, is Luis. He plays the drums. Then Quique, who plays the guitar. And then to my left, and then to the furthest from the right is Manolo, who plays the lead guitar.
Okay.
So we two guitarists, yeah.
Excellent. So how did everybody? Were they all in the band when you joined 10 years ago, or are some of these guys new? And
It's changed quite a bit. No, basically the only two that were in the band when I started were Luis and Quique, and they're the only ones that have been there the whole time since it began, because the group with its original name, Noche Tras Noche, has been around for about 20 years. So they've been around for a long time.
Okay.
And over that period of time, it's changed. And when I started, there was another bass player and there was another lead guitarist. So it's changed. But it is true that Jesus and Manolo were with the group further back when I wasn't the singer. They've had other singers as well. So they've kind of, a couple of years ago, they sort of rejoined the group, so to speak, because we were looking for a lead guitarist and a bass player, and they rejoined. And it's really good because they know a lot of the songs and the material that we had from further back, so before I started with the group. So they pick up really easily with the music in general, and that makes it very easy to rehearse the material that we already had, and also to produce new material. They're also really good musicians. They pick up new things very easily, and they even give it a new spin and make it sound even better. So it's really amazing to work with them as well.
okay. So you say picking up new things. So who writes the new things? Who are the songwriters in the band?
Well, basically, it's Quique and myself.
Okay.
Quique, with the new material, the songs that we've written since I started, I would basically write the lyrics, and Quique would help me find a melody, the melody for the bass melody for the song, and I would first send him the lyrics, and he'd try to find a melody for it, and then we'd sit together and then try to work on fitting the lyrics with the melody and so forth. So we'd basically work together on defining the basics of the song, but then the rest of the musicians in the group always add things to it, like especially the bridges and the solos, the guitar solos and so forth. Then we always work together to give it to basically complete the whole song. There's a lot of things that you need to add to it, but Quique does put the bass melody, and I put the lyrics, and I add the lyrics, and I also have translated some of the lyrics of the songs that we decided to maintain from the first period that they were together as a group, and I've translated some of the music translated the songs into English, and then we've given them a bit of a different spin. And we've kept them, so we've given them a new gist and introduced them into the sort of the vanilla bass philosophy, so to speak.
Okay. Well, that begs the question: what is the vanilla bass philosophy?
Well, basically when I started singing with the group and we started developing new songs, it is true that the first songs that they wrote as a group were had a very rock sort of bass. Like they were really rock, not hard rock, but yeah, almost type of hard rock. Although with tinges of pop, but I would have defined it more as a rock type of music. And I think that my voice and the type of music that we were writing and the songs that we wanted to continue from the first period of the band were a little bit less, sort of more pop, sort of soft melodies, more poppy, soft melodies than sort of that hard rock type of style. So we thought that basically that perhaps not just because of the style of music had changed a little bit, but also that the fact we were doing everything in English just didn't make sense to have a Spanish name. When we decided to change the whole makeup of the group to English music, it just didn't really fit in. So we decided to basically change the name. And when we came, I mean, I was something that I came up one day. Well, what about Vanilla Bass? I don't know why I thought of it, but they thought, well, it kind of fits. It fits because our music is a little bit softer. It's a melodic. It's sort of a vanilla, more a softer tinge to it. And we thought it sort of fit in with what we were trying to do.
Right.
Because so that's why we basically changed the name, and we thought that it was a better mirror of what we were doing at the time.
Yeah. Actually, I did. Actually, let me go back to that first picture because you're holding a CD.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 4-track EP. Do you want to maybe talk through that? Because I've listened to it, and I think it's great. But anyhow, go please talk us through it.
Well, that was the first. That was the first EP that we did together with me as a singer. And what we did in that one is we basically took a couple of new songs that we had written, which was "Chasing a Dream" and "Inner Light." No, 3 songs. Sorry, that we'd written in the new group, and "It's Been So Long" was something that had been from the previous when I wasn't a singer that I translated into English. And so we took those 4 songs, which we considered the best, and we decided to produce some material to basically that we thought fitted into our new image and the new type of music that we were creating. So "Show Me You" was the first song that I wrote with the group, and I remember showing it to Quique, and I think that's why he chose me for the singer, because he thought that for your first attempt at writing a song, that's not bad. So I think he was pretty impressed with that, and it was one of the first. Well, it was the first song that we wrote together, that we worked on together as a group, and that's when then we went on to do more songs, and we just picked those ones. We thought that were the best that we had at the time. So yeah. Basically, that's the 3 songs, as I mentioned, were the new stuff new material that we made, and the other song was taken from the period before I was a singer.
Nice. Actually, it is actually kind of remarkable listening to those 4 tracks. Is that there's definitely a sound. There's definitely a sound, but they seem to my ears to be 4 different styles almost completely. Not that they sound disjointed or anything, but particularly with the use of a Hawaiian guitar, or you've got use of tremolo on one of the songs as well. You've got a very country feel on one. You've got a very pop feel on another, and I did notice that some rather interesting minor key change or minor chord changes. I thought kind of that was in what was that? "It's Been So Long." That's the kind of a more pop one. Yeah, anyhow, so who's responsible for some of those chord changes and that the arrangements of it?
Well, a lot of the arrangements were done by done within the group. A lot of it done by the lead guitarist at the time, and Quique did a lot of changes as well. Yeah. I mean, when we play the song together as a group, that's when you start with a basic tune, and that's when you start sort of adding things and changing things and making those adjustments and deciding how you want to begin the song and where you want to put the bridge and how you want. So that a lot of it was done by the guitarist, but they all add their little point of view. I think that I'm not I don't play any instrument, unfortunately. I just have my voice, so I don't. I leave it up to the musicians to do their make their give their feedback and make all the changes. They do a wonderful job because they're just amazing musicians. They do a fantastic job, and it's so much fun working with them because they're really good. And you're right, there are different changes. There are different styles in the song. Some of them are a bit more pop. There's one that's a bit more like has a country tinge to it. Chasing a Dream there's a little bit of a rock to it, a bit of a rock touch to it. So it's not all the same, the same type of music. That's true.
Yeah. So it's kind of I think unique. I know that when Ryan and I were putting our CD together, we were kind of wanted to make sure that we were not so much fighting that, but trying to make it sound a little bit more uniform. So it is unique. I don't really hear that a lot. So that stands out.
Quique is an amazing man. He has a lot of musical culture, and he's familiar with a lot of different styles. And so I guess when he looks for like the melodies and stuff, because he has so many different influences from different musicians, then he tries to look for a melody that I guess conveys the text, the lyrics in the best way possible, no? And he's very good at when he likes lyrics and when he likes the message that it's conveying. He's very good at finding a melody that can help you convey that emotion that you want to get through with that with those words. So
right,
yeah.
Brian, did you want to jump in? You look like you were fidgety. You wanted to say something.
That's because I finished my coffee and now I'm buzzing. I was chill before. Now I'm a little squirrel. No, I wanted to go back into what Mark had sort of talked about how there are several different styles, and again, dude, I can't tip my hat because it's on backwards. But I tip my hat to make those kind of that kind of very different stuff meld. That's not easy to do. Mark and I, and like Mark alluded to it a little bit there, that we have had tried to make that a part of our music as well. I definitely come from a very similar background musically as you, rock and pop and punk and metal. That's my sort of default. But Mark was a lot more into things like the Beatles, and again, that just happens to be because there's what is there, about 10 years difference between us, Mark? About?
Yeah, I'm younger than you are. About that, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
well, if I'm not physically, I act it. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. On your driver's license, you're 10 years older. In reality, we're about the same. And if we're not careful, it's going to be a race to the bottom here.
There's a biological age, and there's your real age and your biological age. So you're probably a lot younger than what your passport says, I'm sure.
Yeah, and my wife seems to think I'm younger than all of my children. So who knows? I don't know.
Well, I can start part of the attest to that. I know all your kids.
Do tell, Ryan. We need to hear this.
No, but I can actually contradict.
That's after the show, Phil.
I can contradict that now. Remember, Sonia Webb, who was on our show a couple of weeks ago, says I'm very, very calm. So I can say that now. I've got it in writing.
Never gonna...
I can't wait to move back to Manitoba and find out just how calm Mark is. Do I have to give you some of my indica?
Yes.
No. We tried that once. And that's strictly after the show. That's
yes. After, yes.
And that goes equally for me. Boy, that's quite the tangent. I was commenting you on stylistic melding, and then we got to getting high on indica when Phil comes back.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
going to be quite.
See
You
what
want to
happens?
join us for that show, Julie? That could be an interesting show.
Sorry?
Did you want to join us when Phil comes back to Manitoba and we get Mark blitzed on some indica there?
Well, that's already happened online, Ryan. I was on the Two Baked Girls. I was on the Two Baked Girls show, episode 1 this season. Yeah, they got me high on live on air. Go check it out. The Two Baked Girls.
Yeah. So let's bring it back
Anyhow,
to music, 'cause that's what
back
we're
into
all
the
here
family
for,
show.
right?
Get back on the family topics. Let's go.
But you know what? It is tied to music, kind of, because I can't speak for everybody. Myself, when I'm partaking in the indica, it often opens up my creative side, where I'll suddenly get lost and I'll make a bunch of new, whatever I call them, show posters or whatever, things to make people laugh, whatever, you know. More often than not, it's after I've partaken of the stuff. And there's got to be a correlation there.
Although, actually, it's legal here in Canada? Is pot legal in? Is it illegal in Spain?
It is.
It is.
It
Okay.
is. The only I know it's legal is
Interpol is probably listening to this.
not in Spain. Only for therapeutic reasons,
Oh, for sure, yes.
for medical reasons.
Yeah, we're completely legalized for both medicinal and for recreational use. So,
In Canada, really?
Yep. So
Well, the government, Podemos, which is in the government now, they're kind of pretty left wing. They wanted to push for that to be legalized, but I don't know if that's on the priority list at the moment with the current pandemic. But they did want to do it. I don't know if they'll even do it sometime, but
I think they will, you know, because I think the more other countries see what's going on in other countries.
I agree. I don't see anything wrong with it either. I mean, but you know, a lot of there are some people that there's pushback from the society. So I guess.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
You see, I can't attest that I have the same kind of creative outpouring if I've had it. I have a bunch of like weed sitting in my top drawer above in our kitchen, and I use
Right,
it
let me write that down. Above where?
Phil, I'll buy you weed when you get here.
Where's your stash?
I only use it when I can't sleep. And I tried it once. I was figuring, you know what? I'm going to try this. Let's try a little bit of empirical science here. What happens? Okay, I'm going to try and be creative for X amount of minutes, and then I'm going to try and be creative for after that. And it was like, having been in a couple of bands at the same time, I was playing in another band while Mark and I were doing the vast majority of our performing, and we decided once that we would all smoke up before we had band practice. And never, I hadn't smoked at all up at that point. Like it'd been like years since I had smoked any weed, and then all of a sudden, this guy had like some medical stuff because he had like a tumor removed. So this was like purely for pain mitigation, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm watching my strings, like here I am playing the guitar, and I'm just like, oh, I hope I'm hitting the notes. I really hope I'm. It was not a pleasant.
Yes.
It was not a pleasant experience for me that way. So I've decided that is a purely after show, after practice.
Yeah,
thing for me.
And
It just knocked me out, and I just go. Bleh.
And I had a silly experience with one beer before a show. I was going on it was open mic. I did 2 songs. I was going to do 2 songs, and there were new songs. I had one beer, maybe 10 minutes before I went on, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I can remember the lyrics. I can't remember the lyrics. So I ended up doing a couple of older ones. And so since then, and this was like 15 years ago or whatever, I'm never drinking before a show, ever, even if it's a little bit. Sober the whole way, has to be, for me anyway.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
usually if we're having a pint, our set's done. But we actually have some questions from Shalim here.
That's
on
exactly
Facebook.
what I was going to do. You jumped, you
perfect.
beat me to it.
I'll tell you what. I'll ask the first one. You answer the second one, or you can ask the second one.
you
Oh,
go
he's
for
got
man.
the third man. He's just going. Shalim's keeping it going. Well, our consummate professional. He's our unofficial manager, Shalim Housen. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Okay, so Julie, coming from Shalim, what do you think of the Eurovision contest? Is it something your band would ever enter?
I don't. I think Eurovision contest. It's
Yeah.
it's very. I think it's the results are a little bit politically orientated. No, there's a little bit.
Very.
There's a little
Yeah.
bit of politics behind it. I mean, I think it would be an honor to be on the show. I mean, there are a lot of some of the songs on there are interesting. Some of them songs are good and are really good, and certainly if we're invited to represent Spain on Eurovision, I wouldn't say no to it, because I mean, obviously it's an amazing
Yep.
opportunity. But despite the fact that there are always concerns that perhaps there is some political involvement in how it's organised and the results and so forth. But nonetheless, the actual show in itself is very well done, and it's an opportunity for all musicians, and there are often really good songs that come out of it.
Yeah, my experience with the Eurovision Song Contest as an observer over the years, because obviously I'm not originally from Canada, it might surprise some of you out there, and I always found that
You've lied to me all these years.
The songs that made it. I mean, there's a big competition behind the scenes as well, but the songs that make it are usually these really samey, pappy. There's no depth to them, and you just go a little bit of bubblegum, maybe some bubbles, but yeah. So I was shaking my head when Ryan was reading the question. It's like good bands, they tend not to go on there because they're if you're writing inventive stuff, for a start, of those kinds of competitions, they've got to be instantly. Yes, I love it instantly, and a lot of great music you've got to listen to 2 or 3 times before you go, that was wonderful, right? And so a lot of good bands are never going to be able to do that just because of the nature of the competition. Anyhow, and the politics is horrible. It's horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, the podcast just for that. So let's not even go down that road.
No.
I've had my coffee. I'm ready. I'm fired up. So let's go on right into the second question from Shalim. Julie, do you prefer playing festivals or smaller shows? What do you like?
I think no, either one works well. Festivals, we've played in some larger venues, but it is true that with the locals, you get in smaller venues, you get a little bit more. You can have a little bit more of an intimate, more contact with the audience. But festivals, the fact that when there's a lot of people there as well, it gives you a big buzz because there's a lot more people there, and it sounds the music sounds differently when you're in a larger place or you're outdoors. So both of them are really great opportunities. Maybe the local venues for certain types of songs, which are more melodic, or when you play with just a guitar, and the big venues are for when you play with the whole band, and there's that buzz when everyone's around that just makes it really exciting as well. So both of them have their advantages. Yeah.
But if you had to pick one, if you could only pick one, and Vanilla Bass would only do this inevitably for the rest of your career, and assuming that all gigs
if I could only
pay.
pick one, it would be the local venues. I definitely like the smaller venues with the more intimate contact with the audience, and sort of the closer contact with them, and I like the softer music and with the guitar, or with less maybe just not all the instruments, maybe some of the instruments. So I definitely like the local venues as well. If I had a preference, if I had to pick one, I'd have to say that one. But I do like them both.
Alrighty. And I think this is going to dovetail nicely into the last comment that Shalim has put up for us. Like I said, he's our unofficial manager and keeps us on track here. And
I'd say be careful. He's not so much manager. He's an unofficial host.
Okay, there you go. Our unofficial host.
Because he'll often take over with questions. Yeah. So thanks, Shalim. We appreciate it.
So with that in mind, Shalim is interested. Where can he buy music, either physical or digital with downloads? And I think, Mark, this would probably be a good idea to put up the contact information as well.
It would. Give me a sec. I have it lined up. Right. I don't have that information directly. There we go. So that's all the social media. I was just double checking the YouTube channel. Because I think I've got all the links, all clickable links in the YouTube video. Just double checking. I got that. Yeah, so they're all in there. So you got MySpace, Reverb Nation, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, as well as the other ones on the screen.
And you can find it. I
the-
actually found you guys on Google Play as well. So
Okay. So
whoever is distributing,
all the
you can
clickable
find them on
links.
Google Play.
So all the clickable links are on the Invisible Man YouTube channel. You will see on the live stream, and that will immediately become that's going to stick with the video for as long as it stays up. So forever. So go check that out, and while you're there, subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe.
There we are. Oh, actually, one thing you will notice, unlike other bands, whenever you're looking for Vanilla Bass, just look for all you have to do is look for Vanilla Bass. There's no gap. Just the user ID and the URLs are all the same. So super easy to find you. So whatever platform you're on, search for Vanilla Bass. It comes right up. Anyhow, okay, and we'll bring those up in a bit. There we are.
Wow. Hey, can I jump in and just say we have 9 people watching right now on the YouTube channel.
Oh, record. And that
That's
doesn't,
cool.
that doesn't sound like much, but we are really been pushing the YouTube. Everyone watches on Facebook, so it's nice to finally start getting some motion on YouTube. Anyway.
So if everybody watching on YouTube invites 2 friends.
Yeah.
Remember, I said that last week. That's right. And then it worked. All of a sudden, we got a new subscriber. But thanks for joining us on YouTube and Facebook.
That's good. Glenn Foster has sent across 3 hearts, 3 heart emojis, saying 3 for the show. Thanks, Glenn. And Shalim has another question. Did you
Go for it.
So he's asking, does your provincial government provide funding to record songs for demos, full-length recordings and touring and support, as we have in Manitoba?
No, they don't provide any subsidies or any support for that type of initiatives. There are some of the organisations that manage intellectual rights in Spain. Sometimes they'll hold competitions, and they will offer some prize money or help to the groups that win those competitions. But in general, for like support for musicians that want to record material and stuff like that, no.
Yeah, so all I find that stuff is available, but there is a massive competition. We got 1,500 registered musicians in Manitoba, give or take, and it's a real struggle to try and get any of that money.
Yeah, and some of it is politically motivated as well. I don't want to. Again, like I said, we have a whole other show just for politics, so this is as close to the edge as I skirt here. I've applied for numerous loans and grants and this and that and the other. I even talked to a person who just writes grants, and you can do as best you can, but sometimes it's just like, nope, we're looking for a very specific type of person. So even though we have that kind of stuff here in Manitoba, it's not easily accessible. It's not, and like Mark said, you have got this many musicians competing for this much resource.
It's much more fun there.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
And one more. Well, I suspect not the last. But one more question from Shalim is: he said he saw the links, but can you buy the music? Yes, actually, just on particularly Reverb Nation, I just clicked on that. You can buy it on Reverb Nation, and there are links to iTunes as well. So go ahead and buy the music. Probably, pretty much, I would imagine anywhere you usually buy music is probably where you can find vanilla bass music. Yep,
That's it.
I'm getting a nod, so there you go. Okay.
Fantastic.
Now I'd like to bring Phil. I promised the free for all. So here we go.
You did?
I would like to, but I've got to I've got to get the right. It's not working again. Oh, there we are. Do.
Oopsies! I skipped ahead just a little bit there. No retakes, no redos.
There it is. It's time for Phil's free for all.
Had so many moments just like that in the past week. And a couple of times I remember to say that because I refused. I don't know. Well, Julie, you know this as well. Art, and you guys too, because you're in the band as well. We're very hard on ourselves. And you guys, your art is music. Me, it's the show, and always trying to polish it up and so that it's the way I want it to be presented, whatever, right? and I refuse to just do a mistake and not correct it. So I'm sure sometimes when people listen to the show, they're like, "What the hell is he doing?" I literally pause everything and I say, "Hey, I'm going to restart this little segment because I did this and I don't want to do this." And I find if I do that enough times, then it becomes a habit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I can't podcast anymore because Apple Podcast. But when I could, I would listen to those podcasts because that's how I would study. Like when you guys make put a song together, I make it sound so easy, right? You guys put a song together, you listen to it till you're satisfied, right? And that's how I was with the show too. But now I have to do it live, and a couple of times, whoopsies.
So, do you have something crazy for us, Phil?
Well, I don't. I was going to ask Julie. I think then I opened up my show software, and I remembered I had a computer incident. I had two so far in this career, but I think I've been playing vanilla bass music since 2017. I'm pretty sure, and I've been a fan ever since I started playing it. Like I say that on the show too. Like I don't play anything on my show that I personally don't like. People think, "Oh, look at that! He's playing these songs, cool songs and stuff." They don't realize this is what I want to listen to at that moment, you know. And yeah, it's been great. And you guys are super super supportive, and thank you for that. With sharing and retweets and stuff like that, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I got a quote. Colorado Kim, the manager at VW Radio, she has this little saying, it's teamwork makes dreams work.
Okay.
And that's what this is, the Invisible Man Show. It's all in the mind, vanilla bass, the Colorado Phil Show. We're all trying to achieve one thing, and that's so cool when you know it. You get the support from artists, and it means the world. You know, and I always tell artists, like, you don't have to private message me, because definitely if you stay on my radar, guess what? You're going to be sending me more new music because you want me to play new music because I play you more because you're on my radar more. The teamwork makes dream work, you know, kind of thing. So, yeah. Anyways, I forgot what I was going to talk about. Did you guys hear about... I'm gonna run. Oh, guys, we've got another. We're at 51 subscribers on our YouTube. Oh yeah, the Golden Girls home that they use for shots from the outside. The Golden Girls show. It's for sale for just under $3 million.
Wow, 3 million.
Yeah, and apparently the inside matches the set that like they only used it for a year. To shoot stuff from the outside, but they had their builders go inside and take measurements, so they rebuilt everything as a set. So they were saying whoever buys it, they're going to recognize a lot of the different things. Yeah, for $2,999,000, just like that. What's 10% of that?
Oh my goodness!
Right? Oh, and this story, because now we're talking live, we're on video and everything. There was a news anchor. Where is she from? From Poland, I think. Ukraine. She showed a lot of grace under pressure. She lost part of her tooth during a live broadcast. So what I'm getting at here is I missed that story for the show. I wanted to share it, but I ran out of time. I play great music on the show from artists like Vanilla Bass, like It's All in the Mind, Glenn Foster Group, Camel Juice, man, now I feel like I'm getting in trouble because there's so many I should name now. But I also share weird stories like that on the Colorado Phil Show. Well, weird. That was not so much weird, but
Now, wasn't there something about finding Vanilla Bass's bass player inside a tree? Didn't you find?
I said Jesus was spotted in a tree branch. Not Jesus.
Oh, okay. Good. So in case Jesus went missing, you could look for him inside a tree.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that because it's like both politics and religion. But I'm okay because I was born Catholic, right? So, well, I was born human and then I was made Catholic. I see what they're saying. I think though, because I have used chainsaws before, it looks more like an oil stain, kind of from the heat and stuff, But if it is Jesus, it looks like he's dancing because he's free. I'll put this up on the Invisible Man show page in a few minutes once I'm done yapping here. But so that was one of the stories on the show this week, as well as this one. My goodness, there's a fish. Where is this? I gotta find it first. It's it's called a triggerfish. Has strong jaws because they crush shells with it. And they eat sea urchins and crabs. And hey, the mouth, it's like you see some women with too much collagen. And then, but this fish has like human-like teeth. And this one, the particularly good specimen, they're all nice and white. Like, I don't know what they use, but isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
It's the sand. It's the sand that they keep picking up off there. That's how they do it, right?
It takes the plaque off. Yeah. Well, I should be
wouldn't have any teeth left if I did that.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But I mean, and I posted this on my show page during the week, and there were some people saying, "No, that's BS. That's not true. It can't be." Just like the flying fox in the Philippines. Who's heard of that? Ryan, didn't you post something about that?
Yeah, it sounds like something I might have done. I can't remember though.
Well, in the article that I shared on the show, they said it was human-sized. But then I looked it up, and it's not human sized, like 3-4 pounds. A baby human, very premature.
It's still a big flying squirrel, man. That's not a flying squirrel I want. We have enough problems with flying squirrels around our place. They're fuzzy-tailed rats, is what they are, and I don't need one that's the size of my small child. Like that's just
right.
No.
Imagine that. Even if they tell you they eat bugs, you never know.
They can go eat bugs around my house. Try and just stay out of my attic.
So Julie, I wanted to ask you. Now it's like a hard 90-degree turn, right? How has COVID-19 affected where you're at, where Vanilla Base plays and all that? And have things opened up again successfully, or?
Well, theoretically, yes. I mean, there is with limitations. Obviously, there are a lot of limitations, but theoretically, you can go to restaurants. Obviously, you have to keep the safety distance, and in any public place, you have to wear a face mask if you can't maintain the 2 meter safety distance. So we basically have gone back to something that resembles normality, even though most cases you have to wear a face mask.
Right.
But there are a lot of new cases coming up.
Over there too, huh?
Yeah, and they've had to. They've basically recommended in Barcelona and in Zaragoza. They've recommended that people not leave the province or go to the province, because there are a lot of new cases coming up, and in Lerida and a couple of places in Catalonia, they're really struggling with a lot of the new cases, and they've had to confine the whole city. In Lerida, just like we were in March, you can only go out for essential things like supermarket and pharmacy. Pharmacy. So they've gone back, and in a few other places they've gone back to phase 2 in the period where they were descaling, where they were opening up things again from after lockdown. So it's like you don't know what's going to happen, because next week might be an increase in cases, and they may have to not go into lockdown, but we may have to impose restrictions again.
Have they gotten to the point yet where bands can play live, or are they staying away from that?
No, bands can play live. They just have to maintain the safety distance and also the amount of the audience. There's a lot of restrictions, so maybe there only be 50% of the audience or 30%. It kind of depends on the place where it is. So there's restriction there, but we can still. I mean, bands you can go and practice. Obviously, you can practice as a band, but live bands and so forth. It depends on how many people too. I mean, like the festivals, I think have all been cancelled. Like music festivals have all been
Yeah.
cancelled in summer. There are a couple of concerts that they've had, but it's like very very low key. It's like not. It's
Yeah.
not. There's not a lot of them around, and they're with very severe restrictions. So only it's not easy to
No.
get up.
I
You know.
don't know that I'd be ready right now to go catch a live show inside a venue. Because every time I go, even just shopping at a Walmart or I go anywhere else, you feel the airflow. And it's flowing and it's coming right back up at you in some places of the store. So what do you think is happening if somebody has COVID? Is this like everything goes through your head like that? I wouldn't be comfortable in a inside venue, but I might be tempted for an outside show.
Yeah.
But they still throw up a lot of caution about that as well,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
obviously.
probably because I think it's more virulent than people realize.
Well, they're saying that it's not just that it could be airborne, that the transmission could be completely airborne. That's obviously very dangerous because it's not just in the little drops of water, the droplets of water when you cough and when you speak.
Yeah.
That it has some limitation, but if it's airborne, completely airborne, then that's that's in a whole nother ball game. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
not sure about it yet. They're not 100% sure. In theory, it's obviously a lot less risk when you're outside, but they don't fully understand the virus, so you can't be completely comfortable in any setting, really.
Right.
So
Right. No. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Here, it's a lot of venues have already closed permanently. It's the same in Canada. A lot of are you seeing the same thing where you're at in Spain there?
yeah, there are a lot of them. A lot of them are closed down. Some of them, if they have the opportunity, if you can have offer drinks, or you have another, part of it, you have a bit of a restaurant or something that you can, or a terrace or something that you can open up. But a lot of them have closed down. Yeah, yeah, right. It's and hopefully we won't have another. Well, the thing is, what's going to happen after September? No, so can we handle another
Right.
an increase in cases again? We've already had
Yeah.
one, so let's see what happens in September.
Well, out here for me, a thing that's different. Every place I go, even Home Depot, the hardware store. Right when you come in, there's a display. They sell 3-4 kinds of masks. They have the gel for your hands.
The
There's
hand
another
sanitizer.
thing. Yeah, hand sanitizer, and I think they have face shields as well. And this isn't looking like a temporary display. It's something that they put money into it. So I'm thinking we're gonna have to get used to it. I don't mind wearing the mask when I'm out in public and stuff, but a lot of people really don't like it.
Yeah,
But I'd love to have this thing be gone, but I don't think it will be. Just by some of the little things that you see now, and they don't advertise it. Hey, come on over! I got all these. It's just put right there, so you'll see it when you get in.
Yeah, we see.
And it's kind
One of the big visual things when you go. I'm not sure how it is around the rest of the world, but right around Winnipeg, with these perspex shields in front of the cashiers now. So have you seen that kind of thing? I would be surprised if those don't stay. I would expect those to hang around.
Oh yeah.
That'll now be part of who we are
A lot
now.
of the,
Here in Colorado, they were talking about schools need to get more school buses. And I had said that a long time ago here at home. I was talking about that. And yeah, wouldn't you know, now they're looking at that because you can't have as many kids in the bus. So you might need 2 buses to do one route. Like, I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
And it's all paid by taxpayer taxes, right?
yeah.
Yikes.
And knowing
Absolutely.
sorry, carry on.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't exactly know what's going to happen here in September when kids go back to school. Like,
Right.
where they're going to. Classes are generally 20 to 25 people in a class, 25 students in a classroom, and they're saying that they obviously need a safety distance. So we don't. So they're going to have to figure out a way to keep that safety distance at school, and not sure how they're going to do it. We can't make the schools bigger. Maybe some of the classes will have to be online.
Yeah.
So
Right,
we're still
yeah.
trying. And some countries have actually gone back. And I'm from Melbourne in Australia, and they're in a 6-week confinement now because of the increase in cases. Back to how we were in March, and they've closed the borders to New South Wales and to South Australia, and that's never happened before. And it seemed that Australia had it under control, so to speak.
Right.
And they've had to there's a full lockdown, just like we had in March. Only out for supermarket and the chemist. That's it.
Wow.
You can always go back. So just when you think you've got things under control, it's very difficult. People come in from other countries, or people get together, and it's just very difficult to control. Yeah.
I think, and it's I'm not talking about the curve to stop it, but the learning curve on it seems to be quite steep. And it's gonna take everybody taking it seriously, because I don't know. I'm just looking forward to my first live show.
Yeah.
It's some live music. That'll be good. I know in one page
We had something lined up at one point, but then all of a sudden it got pulled out from under the rug got pulled out from us, right?
Oh yeah.
Didn't we have something lined up for like?
Yeah, then we had April. We were going to do a festival, so Arts and Crafts Festival that we do pretty much every year, and postponed till October. So we'll see if it gets postponed again.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Now Shalim just wanted to say that he bought the digital download from Bandcamp. So he said that it looks like it was an old one from 2011. When can we expect more music? But Shalim, if you go to the Facebook page, Vanilla Bass Facebook page, go to the shop tab, you can buy the current EP from their Facebook page, €5, I think it is. So there you go. Mm-hmm. And there's So I think the vanillabase.es website redirects to Facebook. So go check that out, and you'll find it right away, Shalim. Okay, I think we've been going for about an hour. So that's been pretty good. So check out Vanilla Bass. Every social media platform you get to, just look for Vanilla Bass, no space. That's their user ID. First time ever in the history of, I think, the world that someone's got the same user ID on every platform. So I'm impressed.
That is impressive. Like, well done.
We got it right with the name.
Yes, indeed.
And you know what? Here's the thing: is we've had so many great independent artists, but sometimes trying to locate independent artists, and especially across social media, sometimes is a little bit of a challenge. This was easy. I typed in Vanilla Bass into Google Play, and boom, jumped right up there. I was like, "Is this it?" And so then I was like, "Oh, okay, well maybe I better check Bandcamp, make sure I've got the right one, because I'm going through all my sources." Right on.
Quique, the real star on all social media. He's very, very good at basically getting us on the different types of social media, and also meeting lots of different people on the different platforms. So he's really good at it, and he loves it. So
and he got you on this show, so he must be great. He got you on this show, so it must be great.
Yeah.
He must be good at it, yeah.
Absolutely, I fully
Okay, just a shout out to a couple of people there. Or Jim Robeson, my brother-in-law from the UK, has joined. I'm not sure how long he's been with us, but he says, "How are you? We're doing well." We've got Jesus says, "Bye, Invisible Man team." So thanks for joining us, Jesus. It's been we've been talking about you.
And please stay away from the trees. We don't want you to get caught in any trees.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody for joining us this week, particularly those of you who have jumped onto your YouTube. Make it feel good. Those few views just make us feel good that our efforts are working. even though we get way more views on Facebook. Anyway. Yeah. But so thank you very much.
We had a comment from Carrie Luce Forsyth, lead singer from Load. I had shared out the link, and she said just to have a good show, boys. So thank you very much, Carrie,
Thanks, Luce.
for that. Carrie and a few of the boys from Mode have been on this show a few times. So thank you very much for the love and the share.
If people are interested, this episode that we're doing right now with Julie from Vanilla Bass is already pinned to the top of our show page on Facebook, The Invisible Man Show. It's pinned right to the top. And with it is a link that'll take you right to our YouTube channel, and come and subscribe there. Don't forget to click on that little bell so that when we go live, you'll get notified. And also share when you come to our show page for the Invisible Man Show. Share.
And I was almost going to not just tell everybody about how to get hold of us, silly us, but obviously if you're watching, you probably know already, but the invisibleman.cio website has pretty much links to everything, so I won't read through it all. A couple of things I'd like to just to draw your attention to is Phil's radio show. It's the third link from the bottom.
Yes.
vwradio.co. Go for it, Phil.
Okay. The Colorado Film Show, Mondays through Fridays. I talked a little bit before what to expect on the show. Great music and all kinds of stories. Some are weird, some are really interesting, some are funny. Monday through Friday, 12 to 4 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2 to 6 p.m. Central, and 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Fantastic, and it is a great
At
show.
Oh yes, I want to mention something. www.vwradio.co. Now, if you come to my Facebook show page for the Colorado Phil Show, check out the pinned post there because VW needs people's support. And good news, they've raised enough money to stay open till the end of August. Woo. So if people want to keep hearing the Invisible Man, the Colorado Phil Show, I don't want to be homeless. Don't make me turn to the dark web.
No,
people would love music too. But anyways, the link is there pinned to the top of my show page.
Excellent. And as we say every week, we do this for the love of it. We don't get paid. But if you would like to show your appreciation and buy us a coffee, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/It's All in the Mind. And that'll be great. Then you can buy us a coffee or two. And completely unrelated to the show, I'm an author. I've now got 3 books out. I got 2 books.
Hey, the new ones came. Right on.
So I got A Fighting Stance and Gunpowder Plots are 2 books that about a Jeremy Pratt, an English boy, moved to Canada, fish out of water kind of thing. It's funny and a little bit emotional. And then I got a book for collection of short stories for an older audience. I don't want to say an adult book because you get the wrong idea, right? But it's a short story. It's called Godfred Falk and the Secret Society of Tumblers, Minstrels, and Thespians. Fantasy humor. Go check that out as well. And you can find links to that at books.mdstannard.com. We'll take you straight there. Or just go to the Invisible Man page. We got links to everything. Okay. So after all that, I'm tired now. So thanks again, Julie, for joining us. You've been fantastic. And I thank the rest of the band, the members of Jesus particularly, who joined us in the live stream. And just want to thank all the audience for taking part. And we'll catch you from me, Ryan, and Phil. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Oh, the invisible man.